All right, everybody, we're back. Video number 2. Try not to make these super long. I see people with these 40-minute long Pokemon opening videos, and I'm just like, I'm not gonna watch 40 minutes of that. So I assume that you guys don't really want to watch 40 minutes of that. So we did the entire left side. Now we're gonna do the right side. The hits that we got out of there, I actually still have them. The only ones that were more than $2, since value does matter. First off was this Sylveon VMAX, which I actually think has a chance at a 10, which gives this one like a $55 value. The rest, maybe $3, maybe $3, maybe $3, right? So these are things to think about. If you're gonna buy this booster box as an investment, don't open it. You're not gonna find the Umbreon. Your chances are so slim unless you have deep pockets, like that guy whose YouTube name is literally just Deep Pockets. Who, by the way, I really enjoy his videos. I actually forget what his YouTube handle is now, but I will say that he is probably the reason that I started looking at this as an adult and saying, yeah, maybe Pokemon would be fun again. Especially, again, having a kid, which I think I said a lot about in my last video. But yeah, so we're gonna open the rest of this box here and just see what we get. Hydreigon. I hope I'm saying these right. I'm probably not. Again, don't know what I'm doing. So I know in the beginning of the first video I said I was gonna weigh all these packs. I'm not gonna do that. I wanted to, but I realized very quickly that they all pretty much weigh the same. There was almost no noticeable difference between the actual hits, the hollows and non-hollows. And honestly, even with these being heavy, you know how many hollows there are that aren't the one you're looking for? It's just it's not like the vintage packs where there was only one rare. There was only maybe 12 cards that you would consider a hit, and they were all hollows, and it's worth weighing. These ones, it's just not. They have the weight balancing with these TCG cards or whatever they're called. These online code packs, which if you play this online, I don't know. I'll give these codes to somebody. I'm sure somebody actually uses them. I currently don't have any plans to do that. Maybe my kid will someday, but, we can cross that bridge when we get there. Sableye. That dude's creepy looking. I like him, though. Drampa. Not what we're looking for still. Definitely not what we're looking for. I will say we're more than halfway through now with 2 packs into the right side. And, yeah, the chances of us getting what we actually want out of this, almost nothing. So again, investment wise, if you're gonna buy a booster box of these, I pray for you. Don't open them. I believe that the affectionate nickname for this set was Evolving Cries because the hit rates were just so bad. So bad. And we're starting to see that. Here's a Regieleki. I don't know, man. And another Shiftry, a non-hollow this time. Okay. I do like, I love Golduck. Golduck was like one of my favorite cards as a kid. I don't remember him looking like this in the old art, but he's still Golduck to me. I'm not really a gambling person, but I feel like I get why people do this. You kind of get that feeling. First there's the nostalgia hit, and then there's here we go, we're slowly building, and it's not what we want. There's that heart palpitation almost that you get out of it, and you're like, man, that's just not what I want. But that build is just, this is actually terrible. I kind of, maybe I don't want to get my kid into this because gambling is genuinely super addictive. It ruins a lot of lives. a lot of people's lives. I've seen it firsthand. You know, I never really gambled. I like playing cards with my friends, but, you know, some of my friends have lost tens to hundreds of thousands of dollars at casinos, playing cards. You know, so if you're looking at this and you're thinking, ooh, gambling's fun, ooh, a Moltres. I don't know if that's good. A Moltres was cool when I was a kid. But yeah, if you're looking at this and you're like, yeah, cool, gambling, love gambling, don't do that, man. It's just, I mean, I know this is like maybe a more somehow socially acceptable form of gambling. Like I bet most people, you know, your wives would not be like, oh, he's buying Pokemon cards, he's gambling. They, you know, without doing any research into it, they're just gonna be like, oh, he's just into Pokemon cards or whatever. But you know, it's still gambling for sure. I mean, we spent $1,200 some odd dollars, and you know, we're hoping to make that back, but we know we're not gonna. The odds are very, very slim, and that's kind of part of that rush. It's crazy that this, you know, I didn't get that as a kid. I didn't realize that I was literally being taught to gamble by the Pokemon Company as a child. Man, maybe I don't want to get my kid into this. Maybe I'll just give him. Man, I don't know. I got some choices to make as a parent, obviously, but well, we can already see what's going on here. Oh, a Leafeon V. Probably another, you know, kind of $3 card. If it's a 10, which odds are it's not, because the sun on the centering is not bad. It's a little shifted right. I don't see any dings, although man, I mean, they just cut these cards like so sloppy. Yeah, it's a little, bottom border's a little heavy. A little shifted right. Not bad. The corners on this card are way better than the others have been. This might be the best example, but even so, this whole left edge is, I don't know if you can see that, but that's probably not a 10. But even if this was, you know, I mean, we're talking $30-$40 after you pay to have it graded. You know, if you're this is really a lesson in why you should not look at this as a smart investment if you are planning to open an Evolving Skies pack. Maybe there's other sets out there, absolutely, that it is definitely worth it, and you're probably going to pull something that'll at least help you break even. But this, not the set for that. And, you know, that cold, hard reality is, it's getting colder, you know, as we open these packs. And again, it's just, man, I feel like I'm going to be like the anti-gambling Pokemon booster pack opening guy now, which is fine. You know, if I have to be the mantle there, whatever. I'm not trying to be that guy, but, you know, I'm just kind of letting my thoughts come out here as we're opening these. And man, there's definitely that rush, you know. You hear 1, 2, nice Eevee, 3, Pikachu, 4, 5, 6. And it's not a hit, you know, and it's just that, oh man, disappointing. Nice reverse hollow Wobuffet. Ugh, I could do a Chinese buffet right now. But yeah, and then, you know, there's that, you got these cards in the back. It's like that slow settle down and your heart rate kind of drops back down, and then you grab the next pack and you feel it and you're like, cool. Yeah, you know, it's like, I get it. It's definitely the guys who sit down for hours on end ripping packs on YouTube, and honestly, those guys make money on YouTube. That's how they really make their money. You know, it's less of a gamble for them because they have that almost guaranteed income from YouTube like that. See, I'm gonna make it less gambling. Here we go. We're just gonna open right to it. Then we'll go back and scroll through here. You know, they're making tons of money. You know, and it's thanks to you guys. You know, you're watching. Maybe you're buying their cards when they're done with them. I don't really know what they do with them necessarily. You know, I'm sure they grade them, the good ones, and will sell them, keep them as an investment. But, you know, some of these guys with 1 million subscribers, they're making 40 to 60K a month just in YouTube revenue. That's not counting other ad revenue that they may do outside. That's not counting their normal job. Oh, we got something neat coming up. Oh, a Vaporeon V. Again, another very pretty card, but just not as valuable as, you know, the chase cards, which are like the Umbreon or the Dragonite. But I will say these full arts, I think this is considered a full art, are just super pretty, and I love the texture on them. Super cool. You know, this is just stuff that was not in card manufacturing technology when I was a kid. Maybe it was, but they just didn't add it. You know, the holographic was like a little sheet, but it was... Well, this is actually this is a nice looking card. It's a little, just the tiniest bit off center. You know, and PSA has lately been very well known for being harsh. Seems like they're getting harsher, and you're getting a little less consistency from what I've been reading on, you know, on what your grades are. I've seen some, I've seen some pretty silly ones. I joined some of the, you know, the subreddits and stuff just to see how, you know, just to try to educate myself. Really, that's really what I'm doing, trying to understand. Oh, Jumpluff. Hey, cool Jumpluff. And I saw a guy get a Venusaur back from, I believe, 151, and they graded it a 4. I mean, it's pack fresh. And I'm like, man, a 4 doesn't have to have visible creases and damage to get a 4. I mean, that's terrible. A 4 on a pack fresh card is terrible. And, you know, I get it. Like, maybe there's something under a microscope that some guy, or maybe some guy at PSA is having a bad day. But really, what it comes down to is that's hurting PSA's bottom line. When somebody gets a 4 and then they send it back to regrade with the same company and it comes back like a 9, you know, when you, as a grading company, don't have consistency, well, as any company, you don't have consistency in what your product is, which to them is that service of grading. If they're inconsistent, then what's the point? They need to be consistent, or it's like, what? Why am I wasting my time? Why am I wasting my money? It costs money to have these graded. It's not cheap. You know, if you don't have the membership, it's what, $25 per card. And you know, I sent 5 of my old cards, which I know are going to grade like 4s and 5s at best, because I played with them as a kid and had no idea it was just some sort of investment scheme. But I sent them in, you know, for myself, just, you know, like that nostalgia. I wanted to see what they were worth. But anyways, you know, I'm like, that's a couple $100. And, cool. Altaria. You know, and if you're pulling pack fresh and they're sending it back and calling it a 4, frankly, I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to trust PSA to grade my cards, even though they're really, you know, the most renowned and respected. I don't know how much longer is that going to last. And who am I to say any of this, right? This is just, I'm a layman, really. But it's just so curious to me how you could, you know, all the reviews coming back from all the stuff that's been going on there. It's just, it's not looking good. Did I skip it? I skipped it. Wishy-washy. Yeah, I'm feeling pretty wishy-washy right now. Tell you that much. But that's okay. Again, kind of knew what I was getting myself into here. I did my research, and I just thought that this would be cool, because it's one of those packs that really, you know, I don't think a lot of people are going to tear into these. You know, I'm sure there are, I mean, I know there's lots of videos of people opening booster boxes and stuff, but, you know, of Evolving Skies. But I think that just because the pull rates are so well known to be so bad, I was like, wouldn't it be cool? Get a box and be somebody who has an actual video of these getting pulled. Just as a good reminder to people, like, if you're going to invest in this, keep it sealed. Don't be dumb. Don't be like me. This is dumb. This is dumb, but very pretty. Do love this. Again, you know that I would call these 2 pulls. I think they're cool. You know, I'm not really looking to sell these, but you know, even so, as I'm doing this, I'm like, man, there does need to be value to be worth opening. You know, but I'm having fun, and that's really what it comes down to. Again, gambling. So again, we're going to just open to where it should be. Whoa! Oh, is that good? Probably not, knowing my luck, but Dracozolt VMAX. We'll get this in a sleeve here. Just trying to see if there's any damage. Just because I don't, I don't know what this is, I'm assuming that this is not really like one of the high value. Oh, and the centering is terrible. Oof, she's pushed way left on the back here. That's really bad. So, you know, at best, a 9. Oh, yeah, look at the centering here. This is just, I mean, this is like almost like 60-40. But, again, that's not what we're here for. We're here because this is cool and pretty. My son's going to love it someday. Hopefully you guys enjoy this too. I hope I'm not boring. I'm sure that I am to some people. But I'm entertaining myself. And, you know, that is, for me, good enough. I'm not a big YouTuber. I'm not dependent on views. I have a job. I'm sure a lot of YouTubers, other YouTubers also have jobs. But, you know, this is not, I'm not really losing too much here. It's, you know, $1,000 on Pokemon cards is definitely a lot to lose on Pokemon cards. But, anyways, again, we're gambling. But we're not, because it's Pokemon, right? How could Pokemon be gambling? Let's see. A copycat. And, oh. Still very cool, though. I really do like Umbreon. I think that this is one of the cooler, and I'm sure everybody agrees, hence why it's so popular. But, you know, I would say that when I was growing up, Espeon was like the coolest. I'm not sure why I thought Espeon was the coolest, but, you know, when these new energy types came out for, I believe, Neo Genesis, man, it was like, what? There's a whole nother world of Pokemon that we're just going to find out about. And then, you know, of course, I hit 5th grade and my friends were like, you still play Pokemon? And, you know, embarrassment. Oof, not good centering at all. So definitely not a 10. Maybe a 9. I'm not seeing any damage. I do see some flex. Yeah, this is not going to be a high value card here, but it's very pretty. And again, my kid will be stoked. And I said it in the other video, you know, my son's only 3 years old, so he's not like ready to rip packs open, but you know, when he is, we'll get to do that together. It'll be super cool. Make sure I show you all these other cards that are in here. It's not really, I mean, you've seen all of these a dozen times by now. So what do we got? We got 3 packs left. 3 packs left. We've got, for hits, we've got Hydreigon, a Moltres, a Leafeon. Sorry, these are just the interesting hits, I should say. A Vaporeon V, a Dracozolt VMAX, which again, super cool, but probably not what we're really looking for. And we got an Umbreon V out of the right side so far. So I don't expect to get any more of these Rainbow Arts. In these 3 packs, we'll probably get maybe one more interesting hit, would be my guess, statistically speaking here. Maybe nothing. And you know what, man? It was cool. I actually really enjoyed doing this. Again, probably because that gambling adrenaline that hits my brain every time I see something cool sneaking out of the pack. Now, I don't think anything cool in this one. A Flaffy and a Sharpedo. Yeah, see? Statistically speaking, from what I know of this deck, we have pulled all of the interesting items out of this booster box. And again, totally cool with that. I do have some other packs coming in. I do have a base set, you know, not first edition or anything cool like that, but, you know, just a base set. The guy weighed it, said it was heavy. It's actually why I bought the scale in the first place. It wasn't because I wanted to weigh all these packs. It was because I wanted to weigh that pack and make sure I wasn't getting screwed over too terribly. Yep, there's our Ampharos. because it's really easy. I mean, I don't know if you guys know this, and I think that this is something everybody should be super aware of. But when you go, oh, tentacle, cool. When you guys go and you look on eBay and you see, oh, look, a heavy pack, it is so easy. All you have to do as a seller, if you want to mess with somebody, you hit this tear button. Okay, I'm going to put this on here. I'm going to hit tear. Okay. Look, I'm starting off with a negative, you know, whatever it may be. But my point is that all I have to do is put like the tiniest bit of uplift, and you can do it mechanically in a way that's more consistent. And I can put an uplift of a gram or a gram and a half or 2 grams, and that'll look like a heavy. That'll look like a heavy pack. When I go to put that pack on here and I take that picture, it's going to say 21.8, even though it's actually only 20.8. Right? If I mechanically put that extra gram, right? It's very easy to fake those things. So if you're going to buy weighed packs, buy yourself a scale. Make sure that they didn't tell you it's going to be 21.8 and it came in and it's, you know, 21. And if you look at if you look at the description and it says something like, you know, every scale's different. And if you get it in and it's, you know, a different weight, you know, that's because the scales are different. No, they're full of it. These scales are super, super accurate. If one says it's 21.8, the next one's going to say it's 21.8 within, you know, a 100th of a gram. You know, you tear these, you get them set to 0 properly, and they are super accurate. People use these things in science studies in colleges. You know, I mean, for all sorts of stuff. People use these for gold and silver. So anybody who's saying that it's going to be off by 100th or by a whole gram and that's to be expected, they're scamming you. They sold you a pack that they took a picture of and said was heavy, but it wasn't. So just some awareness there. All right, so last pack. I can already tell nothing exciting in this one, but just for the dramatic effect, I'll even read them this time, and you can laugh at how terrible I am at getting these. Slack off. Oh. Petalil. Pikachu. Hey, I got that one right. Pumpkaboo. It's a silly name. Rufflet. A Fletchling. And a Talonflame. Which I actually think is cool. I was a big Pidgeot fan as a kid, but, you know, not exactly what we were looking for. So, full booster pack. Let's say none of these come back as 10s, and that none of these from the left side come back as 10s. I'm going to go ahead and say we're looking at a total value here, and let's see, 3, 6, 9, maybe $100. Maybe. You know, that's if we're lucky. $1,265 for the whole booster pack box that I bought, sealed. If you buy one as an investment, seriously, do not open it or you will cry. Goodbye.